have a funny inclination that Harry might be showing up on Zoom.
And there's Meredith.
Once you hit our start, it'll probably.
Hello.
How are you coming up here?
How am I coming up here?
Okay, I don't have a video.
You
because-
Meredith?
No, I'm
you're
Melissa.
Melissa.
Are you the inviter?
No,
I-
Host?
Not a grind.
Upstairs. Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if because the link that I sent to Harry,
Oh, you were logged in as you?
Gary.
that he might have.
I'm getting a message from Zoom that I cannot start the video because the host has stopped it.
But I didn't send the link to Meredith, so she must be
Well, we got the link sent from
from Lisa Hilton.
Lisa.
Oh, okay. See, that's why I sent it to Harry, because I didn't, usually on her link that she sends out, it has everybody.
Yeah,
There you are. Can you see me?
No, but we can hear you.
Well, I can see you.
Lucky you.
I don't understand this because I was testing this for the past half hour. Oh, well.
Okay,
No worries.
See you the camera.
Yeah.
It's hard for us.
Yeah, I know. If you want, Greg, could even consider laying them on the table. That's easier for.
Yeah, because I don't know if they can see it.
They might, well, it'd be hard to see back, hard to see either position probably.
Hey, this is Henry. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear.
That's Harry on the Zoom, and for some reason it's coming up with me.
It's coming up what?
As Melissa, you're on the Zoom as Melissa.
Probably because of the link you clicked, Harry.
Oh. Okay, well, as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wonder why we can't see them. Hey, Harry.
Hi. Oh, hey.
So we wait another minute or two and see it.
Well, Laura has. Yeah, Laura.
Mm.
Yeah, she usually does. If she doesn't show up.
I'm going to exit and see if I can sign in again so that you have a video. If you don't, you'll just have to hear my voice.
Up to you, totally.
I'll try it.
Okay.
I have to let her in again, right? It is Zoom, right? I thought the host had to let everybody in.
Only if they come in as attendees. You come in as under special audience.
Oh, really?
Correct.
Oh, I didn't realize there was. So the Zooms that I've done other than, and I've never done this Zoom for my, it's always been a situation where the host has to let you in.
Good.
Now we have to wait for.
Yeah. Hello. We have to wait a minute until Meredith is on the Zoom, but her,
Is she
yes.
allowed to talk? Can't say you on, and you're on mute, Meredith.
Is that us muting her or she needs to unmute herself?
You can unmute her.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Have
But, you know, have you turned your camera on, Meredith? So you have to do that in order for it to work. It's
Well, I thought I had.
there should be a button, or I don't know what you're
At the
using.
bottom, there should be a camera. Okay, shall we proceed?
You know, I can't get any more, I mean, no,
That's fine, we can hear you just fine, so that's
I'm so sorry.
no problem. Just, you know, if you need to break in, because obviously you can't wave at me or something.
All right, thank you, Hugh.
For me, how you want to speak. Okay, so we're all here, we'll go ahead. I assume there's no citizen petitions, there was nobody under participants, right? And so we're on to approval of minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I had one correction.
Okay,
It's on page 1. It's really just grammatical. Page 15E. I think in that first sentence, it should be Mr. Clark, E''S, and it should be absence, not absent.
I will take care of that.
Thank you.
okay, so the minutes are approved unanimously.
With that permission.
With the correction.
Edit. We have, I assume, no communications and bills. And so we're on to consultant reports, so.
Well, we have it down to new business.
Okay, you want to do it down there? Okay, cool. So changes to Sutherland's attorney's report. So now we're on to public works director.
The mechanic, trainee is being advertised, the position is still open, and then the assistant director, they had the first round of interviews, and it's down to 2 candidates, both very well qualified, and I'm interviewing both of them on Thursday.
Cool.
So hopefully we'll have somebody on board here in the next month or 2. Very fill out.
Was that?
Seems to be running smoothly down the plant. And the shift operator going well, and our facility, the supervisors, the maintenance supervisors, these guys are all being supervised by him, so everything's going pretty well on there, I guess.
Okay,
No problems.
any questions, comments? Then we'll move on to the facility report. Harry, are you gonna talk about that or? Greg?
Yes, yeah, I'll take care of that. So we, plant performed well. We met our nitrogen limit. There is a typo in the chart. The suspended solids shows 9% removed.
I wondered about that.
It should be 99% removed. So we continue to perform well. There's just some data there about the new people that Greg had mentioned. And the projects, the gravel street pump station, that work is complete. It's just some final paperwork steps to be completed on that. And that's about it. I mean, the numbers are there if you have any questions about any of the numbers in the process.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments? Nope. Then
Okay.
Move on. I don't have a chairman's report, so we're on to old business. our friends Beard and Mystic Cheese.
Yeah, I did reach out to the owner of Mystic Cheese, asked how their inspection went, and I guess their inspector came out, and we had one thing they asked them to change in the cleaning loop, it required a special order part. Guess that's been installed, but in the meantime, I guess that inspector has left the state. So if you need to get somebody else out there to re-inspect it, make sure that everything's okay, then they can start doing the side street, so.
Right.
He's supposed to be giving me another update this week. And then Beard, we're just, their stuff has all been installed, and we're just, once Harry comes back, we'll get that second meter ordered, so we can start doing that.
Okay, any questions, comments? No, then we'll move on to B, revisions to the town ordinance.
There's been no changes there. We'll get that over to the town attorney to review.
That would be good. Okay. And the septic haulers is down again, but is there anything?
I don't think Harry's had a chance to. On that, so.
Okay. Okay, so now we're on to new business and the Northwest Interceptor inflow and infiltration thing.
Yeah, so tonight I've got from Hudson our consultant, Virgil Lloyd and Doug Brzee. We hired them to look at specifically an area of Navy housing for flow infiltration issues. So we've completed the field work, and I wanted to have them come in and explain what they found, what they did, and then any what their recommendations are, so that we can move forward in their CIP project or something to continue with this.
Yeah, no, I think Doug will have a presentation. And I would suggest, if you want, Doug, if you want to lay those on the table, that might be easier for people to know.
I'm gonna move.
I'm gonna apologize in advance. I know it's very small to see and everything, but.
Okay, and Meredith, I'm sorry, you're gonna.
No, I, sorry. I'll just listen.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Doug Brzee. And as Craig mentioned, we have been helping with doing an II field investigation in the Northwest Interceptor. So a little background to this project is back in 2020, we did a capacity analysis, a desktop capacity analysis, looking at the available pipe capacity in the Northwest Interceptor. It started, from the farthest point where, Goss Cove pump station up in this area, and then traveled all the way down to the treatment plant. As part of the capacity analysis, a bottleneck was identified just downstream of the Goss Cove pump station, where the interceptor kind of takes a turn through an off-road easement and then meanders its way through the kind of circumvents around the naval base housing here. So you can see some of the pipe segments are either red and yellow through this area, which indicate that the pipe is either approaching or has exceeded its capacity based on the desktop evaluation. So one of the recommendations, given kind of all the red and yellow or orange segments that you'll see through this area, was to do further evaluation. So flash forward to 2014, we were retained by the town early on in the calendar year, or I'm sorry, 2024, flash forward to, and we were retained earlier in the calendar year to help the town do some II investigation work specific to the area that's highlighted here around the Navy housing. Our field work that was scoped, we did one night of screening. So we went out in between the hours of approximately like 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. We do it at nighttime because that's when people are least frequently using the collection system. So a majority of the flow going through the collection system would be infiltration influenced. So as part of that effort, we investigated the collection system, popped manholes to look for any obvious, infiltration coming in through the manhole walls. as well as familiarize ourselves with the collection system as a whole through here. So that work was completed, and then subsequent to that, and I should say, I should point out that we did all this work in the March timeframe, so you target to do this work during the springtime when high groundwater, there's more of an influence on the collection system. So subsequent to doing the screening, we did 2 nights of what we call non-toxic dye flow dilution testing. So you're probably asking, what is that? It's an approach that we have implemented that lets us take a very targeted approach on identifying infiltration that is coming into the collection system. So we're able to really quantify pipe segments that are experiencing the infiltration, as well as quantify the amount of infiltration that is coming into the system through a kind of a mass balance calculation. So the work itself, similar to the screening, is done at nighttime when the collection system is least influenced by users, and it's presumed that majority of the flow going through there is II based or inflow and infiltration based. What we do is we start at an upstream manhole, and we use a high precision chemical dosing pump. So it's a non-toxic dye that's basically injected into a manhole. No manhole entry is necessary, but it's injected into the flow path. And then we go to subsequent downstream manholes, consecutive manholes, and we grab the wastewater samples. And those samples are then evaluated to understand, you have a known concentration that's being injected up at a upstream manhole. What is the dilution that you're seeing as you go through from manhole to manhole? And like I said, this enables us to look at it as a kind of a pipe segment by pipe segment approach. So we did 2 nights of that work. We evaluated a total 10,000 linear feet of 10,000 linear feet of sewer. We did approximately, so just to kind of show the figures a little bit more, really the project area that we focused in on was the green area here. So that kind of identified the mapping that we went through.
So where's Route 12? Is that green line?
Right through here, and this is where really that main interceptor takes over, turns in that off-road easement. Costco pump station is up in this vicinity. So we did this was the project area that we focused in, did about 10,000 linear feet of dye testing. 3,000 was approximately through the main interceptor that kind of splits through the area. It's 24-inch in diameter. And then we did approximately 7,000 linear feet of the 8-inch gravity collector sewer that obviously collects the wastewater from the residents and then discharges it to the interceptor. So as part of our work, this figure here identifies, basically, once we've done the calculation, we then characterize the pipe according to EPA's guidance for inflow and infiltration. So EPA's guidance is if you have a pipe segment that is experiencing around 1,000 gallons per day, inch diameter mile of II, those are the yellow pipe segments that are shown here. So that's considering or indicative of pipe segments that have what they call moderate infiltration influence. And then ones pipes that calculated with a infiltration influence of greater than 1,500 gallons per day per inch diameter mile had are shown here in red and are classified as excessive II. So like I said, we were really able to focus in on a pipe segment basis from manhole to manhole as doing part of that work. So that really gave us more of our focus area and what we consider more of the problem areas within the collection system. And subsequent to that, we developed figures, put together a tech memo, which I believe was shared with the town, I'm assuming the WPC as well. Next steps in terms of what we would recommend is really doing CCTV or closed circuit television of the pipe to investigate. Then basically that would consist of working with a subcontractor who would use, a robot, for lack of a better word, that would go travel through the pipe and take video of the pipe, of the condition of the pipe, the interior, and then would help us identify really what the defects are in those areas where, again, either moderate or excessive II has been identified. And then once we have that CCTV work, you've identified what your defects are, you're then able to kind of go on to the next phase, which would be implementing some type of remediation method, whether it be lining the pipes or another approach like spot repairs to address the deficiencies that are identified through the CCTV.
you sent the report? If so, I missed it.
No, I don't.
No.
think it-
Okay,
Yeah, we better check that out.
okay.
When would the work be done, Doug?
Or
The CCTV?
we would probably, I would assume, recommend doing it at another springtime event, so, when the groundwater is at its highest elevation, it's usually when we would recommend doing that, so then if there is any influence of II, it can actually be seen as part of the CCTV.
For like next March or.
Next March, it's really tough nowadays to really understand when high groundwater is, but that's when we did this work, and, you know, we did it March. I think there was a snow belt as well going on, which contributed to some of the higher groundwater elevations last year. But usually we target a March, April timeframe. That's been moving target year, in terms of high groundwater.
So, yeah, so
Yeah,
this
raining.
is Colgate, so this area can really, if I live over here now, this area can really flood the streams and so forth. So I'm not at all surprised that this shows up as red because
There's like swamp in there.
it's, yeah, I mean, and the Colgate Road can get flooded with 6 inches, maybe even more than that of water. And so what are these sort of pinkish lines as compared to
The pinkish lines were delineated just as, potential, you know, also to be considered for either CCTV or even doing further, dye dilution study in this area. This is what we evaluated, but, you know, understanding that they have an influence on the collector sewer, they might have II themselves through these areas, but our main focus was over here to kind of the western side, closer to Colgate.
so it looks like in the area where you look, maybe sort of a third of the lines are red line.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm wondering is, I mean, the sort of, is there a way to characterize how much of an impact that infiltration is really having?
Quantify that?
And in other words, if we were to do the additional study and then to, you know, think about remediation measures, how much of an impact is that actually gonna achieve?
You mean how much of an impact will the remediation achieve?
Yeah, how much would it reduce the amount of flow, that's really, you know, not coming from releases from sewage, but from wastewater.
Yeah, I don't know that number, but looking at probably the pipe segments and what we saw for excessive flows that were going in, we could likely quantify at least what the overall influence is of the collection system piping that we did evaluate as part of this, you know, this area here in terms of its influence on the main interceptor.
Is the remediation possibilities, how effective are they in terms of, I mean, let's say we have, you know, excessive inflow right now. I mean, you're not gonna replace the pipes, right? You're gonna
No,
line them.
it depends on the repair, but probably the most common method is doing like a lining project where they'd actually put a lining on the interior of the pipe that would then kind of seal up any joints or cracks that there might be. They do that both within the pipe itself, they can do manhole relining. Sometimes if you have instances where a root is penetrating through a pipe, that becomes more of a, I think, a spot repair, if you will, where you have to actually possibly dig down or somehow remove it using a mechanism. But the most common type is doing a CIP lining.
So assuming you did something like that, are you going to stop all the inflow, or is it gonna just sort of reduce it?
The idea is we would seal that pipe system right up and really eliminate it. from coming into the pipes and any of the, misaligned joints that there might be, that have occurred over time.
But if there's areas, like if there's pipelines between the house and the interceptor that we're not looking at, like maybe in some areas that's the case, so if they're not being repaired sometimes you might be, let's see, as much reduction as you might go for, because it's a pretty complex,
Right, yeah.
dynamic.
So the intent, correct me if I'm mistaken, but the intent of the CCTV, just the red.
The red and the orange were really the,
Okay,
the
so
ones.
trying to see if there is a hole in the pipe or something.
Exactly, some
Like the
major,
vertical,
major
like a lateral,
deficiency.
it's like flowing full in the middle of the night. You gotta be like,
That's
what's
what's
going on?
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
exactly.
Because some of these pipes, a lot of those red ones are actually needing housing pipes, so we're not up to us to fix
Yeah,
them. We're just trying to identify them.
Yeah.
To tell the neighbor, it's gotta fix this stuff.
Yeah.
Interceptor, it's ours. Some of these other ones, it's.
On that.
So, show me again on this one, which is the interceptor.
The interceptor kind of comes right up Crossroads and then follows down through here. And then comes out right at the tail end here.
Okay, so all this red area down by
Down there,
the
this is
brook,
part of the interceptor right
that's where
there.
the
Yeah.
interceptor,
Yep.
and then
And
from
then
the
through
brook.
here kind of comes
So,
up.
so there is a substantial amount that's our pipe, but you're right, a lot,
There's
all the
flooding
rest
here.
of that
Yeah.
red is.
I'm gonna ask this stupid question. What do you mean by the term interceptor?
Interceptor is more of like a main trunk line, if you will, a larger size diameter pipe that carries majority of the flow, whereas a lot of these like kind of side branches, if you will, are kind of what we consider more collector pipes that discharge.
The super highways opposed.
Exactly, like the interstate versus the back roads.
Capillaries and arteries.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
What's the diameter of the interceptor line as it goes through the project area?
It's 24 inch as it goes through the project, and then majority of the collector sewer is all 8 inch.
So it's a good sized pipe, the
Yeah.
interceptor itself.
8 inch, wow.
8 inches is common for the, for kind of neighborhood kind of collector pipes, yeah.
Is that clay pipe in the neighborhood? Do you remember?
Don't recall the material of,
But yeah, on the spot. right?
Yeah.
That was built by the Navy though.
yeah. That's also, we saw kind of, you probably could talk more about what the II, they saw kind of Fort Hill Brook or
In the Fort Hill, the
Yeah.
neighborhood there.
neighborhood there, similar.
As Greg knows as well, you guys did a big project on that back like 2010 or 2012.
Yeah, we did the lining down there. That was very successful. That was, Fort Hill, that was the original sewer system was all clay pipes. Did a lot of iodine.
Did you replace them or?
No, we replaced the laterals right up to the house. And then we did a lining, we pulled this flexible lining through and then cured with steam. It's like an epoxy that's hard to turn up.
Yeah.
We also sprayed all the manholes inside with epoxy, and so and we really sealed it up.
Is the clay known to fail over time?
Yeah, it becomes kind of more of a brittle material.
So will it fail from the outside of this solution?
What do you mean?
What I mean is, so you've lined the clay,
That's
but
on
it's-
the inside.
but is the clay eventually going to disintegrate?
Usually they'll do kind of CCTV beforehand to understand the
Gotcha.
condition of the interior pipe to make sure they have a solid wall that the
Right.
liner can basically adhere to,
I think what she's asking was, you've done that remediation work on the inside of the pipe, but what about the
What do we have to
outside?
look forward to?
Is that gonna start cracking it from?
No, it usually doesn't crack or.
The cured place liner is actually a structural pipe.
Ah,
So the
It
old
replaced-
hose
I
pipe
see,
is,
I see,
the hose functions as like a
sort of a
form.
form for it,
And
yeah,
then once it cures, it's all set.
Yeah, then it could just go away.
got it, that was what I was.
But the town did that one right by doing the laterals too. So you did the manholes, you aligned all the sewer pipes. And then you also took care of there's a lot of pipe once you add it up from the main line to every single house.
And a lot of those are duplexes, so there's a line, two houses. replaced all this with PVC.
So that was really, really smart.
right up to the house.
Yeah.
But that was private property as
Yeah, we got
opposed
easements
to,
from every property. There's a few that wouldn't grant them, so we do it.
right. But, here, it would be totally up to the Navy. So it would be useful to know if it's clay pipe. and-
Yeah, let me, look. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Well, what I'm sort of thinking is over, and it doesn't matter this minute, but if one's gonna make the case to the Navy, if it is clay pipe, then the experience that we have on the previous project, you know, provides a lot of, sort of information about what to expect. If on the other hand, this is some other kind of pipe, well, then that is informative, but not as directly informative, maybe.
Yeah, we tried to get as-bills, right? And I think your office tried as well, Greg, right? And, I don't think worried that they had anything, I don't, not that they weren't being cooperative, but. So it's probably pretty old.
So, I think we lost,
Where's she from? There she is. That's funny.
maybe she went out and came back in. I just want to make sure Meredith does.
Here she's again. That's funny. She's there.
Yeah, I know. Meredith, you're muted at the moment, but I just wanted to check if you had any questions, comments.
How's that?
That's good. Now I
Okay.
can,
I was gonna say that, Groton Housing Authority had this kind of, sewer line work done over at Pequot Village, which are clay pipes, and they were lined, and what we were told, I'm on the Board of Commissioners there, is that that lining becomes so solid that the clay pipe can disintegrate and it will not impact the ability of the line to, remove water.
great.
And what was it that led to this whole investigation?
When we did a complete study look at the interceptor, we found that these pipes going through this area were over at capacity. And so we said, well, a large part of what's coming into our system is maybe housing. So we want to start trying to look at that to see, you know, if there's smoking gun, if you will, and something that's really obviously wrong. And so you tell them, maybe, hey, you guys need to fix this.
But is there anything that we as a board should be doing, authorizing or something, or is this mainly just information?
For information, I think at this point.
But in terms of the going forward with the camera, is that something
Yeah.
you decide or you need us to do
No,
something?
we can, unless, yeah, I'll talk to these guys and see what the price is gonna be. It's, you know, something we can do with this year's budget, we'll just do it, it's gonna be a CFP or something.
I guess, so, I'm not certain, but I think that a lot of that, maybe all of that Navy housing must be, through a contractor, because they recently changed the sign at the corner of Tollgate and, well, the other side isn't Tollgate, I forgot what it's in South Pleasant Valley. So it may or may not be entirely straightforward how, who's responsible for the sewer and how it gets handled. I mean, it could be very clear, or it could be one of these things that sort of falls unclearly between the Navy and the contractor who, I don't know whether they just operate the housing and, you know, and provide the maintenance, or whether, you know, it's gone beyond that. But anyway, we'll find that out over the next few years if we pursue this goal. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Meredith, any?
Nothing from me, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming in and explaining all that, and it'll be an ongoing story, I imagine, over the next few years. Okay, so we can move on to our next order of new business? Sure. Which is 33 Roberts Road residential refund.
Right.
Yeah, this one, another house tear down and rebuild. So they have prepaid, so they're looking for a refund of $13.
Wow, are you kidding me?
We can't afford that.
It'll cost far more than that to process.
I can't believe anybody would go to the trouble. Well, I move we give them their refund.
Absolutely. Second.
Okay, all in. Aye,
Aye.
thank you. So it's passed unanimously. And,
Hugh,
yes,
Hugh,
just,
would you say one more time, what was the amount of that refund?
$13.95.
Yeah, that's gonna cost more to process.
yes, far more. Anyway, okay, I didn't print out the second page of the agenda.
Just, well, it's just next meeting date.
Next meeting date, which is December 10th. Is everybody good with that? Okay. And so then we need a motion to, is there anything else or a motion to adjourn?
Well, I move we adjourn.
I think we're all in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take too long, did it?
Melissa.
Yes.
Melissa, are you sort of an IT kind of person?